Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's WWE Friday Night Smackdown for November 15th, 2013. And this one starts off with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus the Usos. And this was a decent match here. Luke Harper, actually at one point one of those Usos got dropped right on their head. I think it was Jay Uso, but really I have no idea. But Luke Harper hits the clothesline on one of the Usos for the win. Bray Wyatt gets in the ring. He's going to do his thing where he cuts a promo, hits the Sister Abigail, and the other Uso attacks him. And I was just like, beat his ass. And they did. They beat the shit out of him, and he hits the Sister Abigail. Cuts a promo on Punk and Daniel Bryan. At Survivor Series, it's going to be Luke Harper and Eric Rowan versus Punk and Bryan. So that's the Survivor Series match. I thought it was going to be like a big team thing, but it's not. It's just a regular tag match. We see R-Truth backstage rapping with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. It's his turn to rap, but instead he sings We Are the World. It was goofy. Curtis Axel is talking to Ryback because they have to team up later against Punk and Bryan. And Ryback says, if you're still a Paul Heyman guy, I don't want anything to do with you. And I got a problem with you. And Curtis Axel says he's not a Paul Heyman guy anymore either. So that's the big reveal for that. Curtis Axel didn't get shit. And then, oh my god, this was awesome. WWE Shop, they use William Regal this week. But Vicky comes up and tells him that he's been replaced by the Great Khali. So they have Great Khali selling the merchandise for the WWE Shop, and this was awesome. This is what Great Khali should do. This is how you properly use the Great Khali. He can't really wrestle anymore, so just use him in backstage stuff like this if you want to keep giving the guy a paycheck. Natalya makes Tamina tap out to the sharpshooter. Very short match. Really, it was so short it's not even worth mentioning. Backstage, Brad Maddox is laughing at Vicky. He says, when Triple H and Stephanie get back, you're going to be in big trouble for putting Orton in the handicap match. And she starts laughing and says that you're the general manager of Raw, Kane's the director of operations, and neither of you overruled me. So you guys are going to be in trouble, not me. And then she keeps laughing. How is she not going to be in trouble? They may get yelled at or something, but she still put him in the match or suggested the handicap match. Why would she suggest a handicap match? So, I mean, I don't know. Didn't make sense. R-Truth and the Primetime Players versus 3MB. I thought this was pretty boring. R-Truth hits the Little Jimmy or the lie detector, whatever, on Heath Slater for the win. Then we get the arm wrestling contest with John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio. Cena comes out and he makes fun of the guy in the crowd dressed as Superman. I thought that was pretty funny. And they do the arm wrestling thing, and Cena beats him really fast. So Del Rio says, one more. And Cena agrees, but Del Rio takes a cheap shot, and he hits a spine buster on Cena and puts him through the table. And that was the end of the segment. But I did think this was pretty good, and I know a lot of people don't like Del Rio, but one thing you can say about him, for the most part, he's been booked as a strong, serious heel. And I wish they would book some of the other guys like that. So it's the Bella Twins versus the Funkadactyls. And Naomi hits Brie Bella, I believe, in the face with her ass and covers her to get the win. Backstage, Renee Young is talking to CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. And they're talking about how they have a match later against the ex-Paul Heyman guys. And, well, it doesn't really matter. But I recently heard that CM Punk made a mother and her child cry at a WWE event because they wanted his picture. What a freaking prick this guy is. So before I jumped to any conclusions, I looked this up online to check the validity of this, and it seems legit to me. But I also found another article, and I don't know how truthful this one is, but if it is true, it's hilarious. And it says that Chael Sonnen said CM Punk was considering leaving the WWE for MMA. He had considered this at one point or something like that. I wish this motherfucker would try to do some MMA. He would get his ass tore up in some MMA. It would really humble him. But of course, CM Punk, he's so cocky and thinks he's the best at everything that he's probably thinking, oh, Brock Lesnar could do it, why can't I? Well, there's a ton of reasons why Brock could and you can't. First of all, Brock has an amateur background, and second of all, the dude is big as fuck, and you're not. So I just thought that was completely ridiculous. But anyways, back to this whole CM Punk mother-child crying thing. This really bothers me as a fan. I'm sure it bothers a lot of other fans. And this isn't the first time. It seems like these CM Punk stories always come out. Like every once in a while you hear one, and then a few months pass, and then here's another one. CM Punk getting into it with some fan. And it's ridiculous, and it's disrespectful. And just put aside the fact that this is the wrestling business and signing autographs and taking pictures is a huge part of that. Just putting that aside, there's a ton of guys out there who don't make near the money CM Punk does, who are perfectly willing to sign autographs and take pictures, and you really don't hear about this type of stuff with anybody else but this asshole who walks around like an angry teenager. And it's just annoying now. And it's childish. But CM Punk is a guy who's done it all. He's had damn near a perfect wrestling career, in my opinion. And even though I like the wrestler and his wrestling ability and all of that crap, the guy's been given a lot of chances and opportunities. A lot of second chances when it comes to stuff like this. And he got a long run with the belt. He's been in top feuds with guys like Cena, Taker, Rock. Even Steve Austin said he would like to work with CM Punk if he comes back for another match. Yet CM Punk still walks around like the angry teenager, and I don't know why. And I said in that video, when he punched that fan in the face, that CM Punk has some serious anger issues. There's something wrong with CM Punk, and I think when he was in high school he got picked on a lot, and it just like made him crazy or something. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with the guy, but something happened, and that's what's caused all these anger issues. Something happened to him in high school. I think he was just bullied too much. But yeah, to hear about stuff like this, it just bothers me as a fan, and I honestly think that CM Punk enjoys attention. I think he enjoys being a dickhead, and I think he gets off on treating people like shit, and there's no excuse for that behavior. We get the Great Khali versus Hunico and Camacho. If you remember those guys. I believe it was Hunico who was the fake Sin Cara. And Khali hits his double choke slam move on Hunico, I believe, for the win. And after watching this match, there is no doubt that Vince McMahon hates the UK. Alright, so it's CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. And this was okay. Daniel Bryan gets Ryback in the yes lock, and the lights go out. When they come back on, the Wyatt family's in the ring, but CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are gone. So the Wyatt family just wanders around like a bunch of goofballs. Eric Rowan's wearing the sheep mask. It was pretty silly. But Ryback pushes Curtis Axel into Luke Harper. Same thing that happened on Raw. And Curtis Axel turns around. He's like, hey, he pushed me. I didn't do anything. And the Wyatts beat the crap out of him. And at first I was thinking Curtis Axel probably is still a Paul Heyman guy. He was just telling Ryback that. But after this, I think he might really be on his own. So they kick his ass, then they beat up Ryback. And after they've laid both guys out, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan crawl out from under the ring. Of course, where else would they be? And they kick the Wyatt family, and then they run away. And that's the end of SmackDown. This show overall I thought was below average. When you have Hunico and Camacho versus the Great Khali, and two Divas matches that were just... Well, the Natalya Tamina match was bad, but the Bella Twins versus the Funkadactyls, it was watchable, I guess. But yeah, that's how the show was this week. It was just really... It was watchable. I can say that. But anyways, that's my review of the show. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching.